If you clicked on this video, then you've probably seen Inception multiple times. Although this film is known to be confusing, it's actually pretty straightforward, and once you understand the concept, the next viewings are more enjoyable as you pick up on different things. I've seen this film multiple times, as I have with all Christopher Nolan films, but on my most recent viewing, I noticed something in the movie that I haven't any other time I've previously watched. Something missing, or as others may call it, a plot hole. During the second act of the film, the plan is laid out for incepting Cillian Murphy's character. Obviously, the goal is to split up his father's empire, and they do this by making him believe that his father never wanted him to be him and was disappointed that he would even try. Each level of his dream further insinuates that idea. Ames, who is played by Tom Hardy, lays out the plan for each layer. The first layer is, I will not follow in my father's footsteps. The second layer is, I will create something for myself. And the third layer is, my father doesn't want me to be him.
At the bottom level, we bring out the big guns.
My father doesn't want me to be him.
Exactly.
The second layer is what I want to focus on in this video because I believe this is where the plot hole takes place. When I say plot hole, it's kind of a broad term and hopefully was the reason why you clicked on this video, but it's really an overlooked detail that I want to focus on rather than a writing mistake. While in the first layer, the team runs into a problem. Fisher's subconscious has been trained, and because of this, they are trying to hunt the intruder of the dream. Because the team is sedated, getting killed wouldn't wake them up, but instead trap them in limbo. This causes the plan to be flipped upside down, and when going into the second layer, they agree to run a bit they call Mr. Charles. Now this works perfectly in the second layer. Despite a potential hiccup from Cobb, they eventually get Fisher to turn against Browning based on the priming done by Ames in the first layer. My question is, and the missing detail that this video is about, is what was their original plan for the second layer? If things didn't go wrong in the first layer and they didn't have Fisher's subconscious attacking them, what was the original plan for the second layer that would have ended with him thinking, I will create something for myself? Ames briefly mentions something in the second act of the film that could hint at what would have occurred in the second layer without Mr. Charles. He states that in the first layer he will impersonate Browning and suggest concepts to Fisher. Then in the second layer, Fisher's own projection of Browning should feed those suggestions right back to him, essentially changing Fisher's perspective of his uncle and making his uncle reveal to him what he truly believes. The outcome of the original plan still comes to fruition because of Mr. Charles. We know that what Ames fed to Fisher ends up making Browning reveal on the second layer that his father's will states he wants to make something for himself. I believe the original plan was to kidnap them again in the second layer. This time it would be Fisher's projection of Browning that would be kidnapped rather than Ames impersonating him. I think the same reveal would have happened, but I don't know how they would have convinced Fisher to go into another dream layer teaming up with them. In the movie, they convince Fisher to go into Browning's subconscious to find out what he's hiding, when in reality they're going into Fisher's own subconscious. This way, Fisher is helping them break into his own subconscious and join their team. Without Mr. Charles, what would they have told him to go another layer deep? Without Mr. Charles, how would they convince him he needs to open the safe? I honestly am not sure, and the more I think about it, the more it doesn't matter, of course, but it is just an interesting plot point that doesn't get discussed, nor does it need to be. If this video only confused you more, I'm sorry, but for those who understand, let me know in the comments what you think on how they would have gotten Fisher to break into his own subconscious in the third layer without running the Mr. Charles bit. I know this video is a little different than my normal videos. I'm going to try to post more behind the scenes videos and different filmmaking techniques from some of your favorite movies. If you'd like, you can watch my previous video here about the effects James Cameron uses in his movies, and if you enjoyed, please consider subscribing.